Hey folks, Quilly18 here and welcome to Let's Try SINTOPIA, a game about hell and bureaucracy. But I repeat myself. Anyway, this is a game by Piran Knights and published by Team 17, who have a crazy catalog on Steam and were very kind to sponsor this video. Do check the description down in the doobly-doo for some important links, including you can play right now, well, depending on when you're watching this video, you can play the free playtest for SINTOPIA. If you're watching this from February the 10th to February the 16th, it is available to try for free if you want to give this a go. So this is a management game where we're managing both an overworld and an underworld, and I was trying really hard to think about exactly what kind of game this reminds me of, and I can't find a perfect match. Some of the overworld stuff reminds me a lot of like the old Black and White game. Some of the older underworld stuff is a little dungeon keeper, but not. Also, there's some sort of like a little bit of cool sort of logic puzzle stuff to it. Anyway, it's fantastic. We're gonna go ahead and start a new run, and what I'll do is I'll probably skip ahead until I'm a little bit established here. We do have a variety of different worlds to choose from. There are difficulty settings that you can go to as well, and each of these things, these are randomly generated over time with different goals to achieve and different little traits. So for example, over here, Frostvale, apparently it's frigid, so we'd have reduced hummus fertility. Yes, hummus, our citizens are sentient chickpeas, is the story. Also, one of the primary opponents seem to be some sort of guacamole. It's a whole sort of vibe. They've got some funny stuff going on. Misty Mountain, let's see, we'd have increased fertility. Okay. I would have to earn a bunch of Purja dollars. That seems cool. Ooh, have 30 saints, which is not, I don't think that's not really something you necessarily want normally. So that's going to be, I think, part of the challenge is to deal with the fact that you're going to have all these saints. All right, fair enough. Let's go and pick the Misty Mountain to start. There's some stuff here where you can choose various role models and then you get to customize your boons. Let's not worry about it for here. We're just going to go ahead and start our current mandate. I've got some things put in there. We're going to be pretty high up on the greed side to make more money, which actually might not be a bad thing given our goal to earn some Purja dollars over here. So this is the very zoomed out view of our world. And then we can go and take a look at the overworld itself and our little citizens. So we can click on a random citizen. So here we've got Kokot Holy Farts. Yeah, I feel like the development team for this may have been 12 years old because there's a lot of jokes like that, but great stuff. What do we have here? Wyman Barrel Belly, blah, blah, blah. Bergamot Hairyback. Oh, how lovely. So everyone's got a variety of traits. So Bergamot over here has increased fertility, but she's resistant to greed. From the role model that I set up at the start of the game, and sloth resistance, which I think is also from the role model. So I guess all my citizens are going to have that. And then we can see their various sins. So Bergamot over here has 10 points towards sloth. I mean, it goes from 0 to 100. So she's 10% slothful, 5% wrathful, 13% prideful, 13% envy, 11% lust, 1% greed, and 13% gluttony, but I'm sure we're going to have more of that going on. And we just got our very first event over here on the left-hand side. Our first ruler has been coronated. So we're going to go ahead and take a look and see who that is. Frederick Bigboned is our first ruler, and they have a few alterations over here, and they have various life paths that is going to affect what they do as a ruler. In fact, I can click here, take a look at the ruler menu, and so we have a wealthy bourgeois as a ruler. Well, you know what? I don't know how acceptable that is, so let's go ahead and like fling him around and finish him off because we're a god. Well, we're the ruler of hell, really. But part of that is we do need, maybe some people to end up in hell for a variety of reasons. So let's go and finish it off. Let's say I don't want this wealthy bourgeois as our king. Oh, he's died. That's okay. There's going to be just a new coronation. Someone new. So we have a new aspirant. Oh, no, that's the coronated one. Here's the new aspiring ruler. So right over here, who dis? Tiberius Nietzschem is going to go and claim the scepter and become the new ruler. All right, so we can keep cycling them around if we want. And yeah, these are sentient chickpeas. They are humu or hummus and in the plural, and they are far from the only thing in the world. So this is the overworld, and here's the thing. In the overworld, really, all we have is our administrative magic over here. We don't build buildings. They get built on their own. In fact, mostly due to the influence of our ruler and what their vibe is. They will prioritize certain structures, certain actions. This is our temple here. These are where the new chickpeas are going to get born if they canoodle at night, or shaboinking. That's what they call it. Shaboinking is the name. So what do we have here? Tiberius is another wealthy bourgeois. Well, we can't win them all, I suppose. And then here we have the resurrection portal where souls from hell are reborn as hummus in the overworld? Well, I think the real appeal of the game is in fact going to be taking a look at hell. So we'll probably do that, but it is worth noting we have a variety of different buildings. They will be doing things. For example, the watchtower here will assemble ranger parties to explore the world. And if they find threats, they can assemble soldier parties. And the big thing, maybe for us, I suppose, before we go to hell, is the cemetery, where the souls go, and they wait for the hell bus, which takes them down to hell. So let's go and take a look at hell by flicking down here. So this is where the soul bus will deliver new souls at the gates of hell. We've got some great signage, welcome to hell over here, and then we've got to go and deal with these souls. So we can take a look at what we've got. Let me pause the game for a moment here. There we go. And so Betsy Downbelly, Mark Hummingbird, and oh, there's actually 4 people here. There we go. And I think there's 3 out of 5 souls. So we, at the start of the game, our soul bus has a capacity of 5 souls. And currently we've got 3 souls in the cemetery, including, presumably, our previous ruler. Salvation awaits. So the core game loop is for us to process souls in hell, processing their sins, and then sending them out to the overworld. And depending on how well we've purge them of their sins, we can get rewarded a few things. For example, they've got points over here called heroes. If we send a soul back to the overworld with a low sin-o-meter, with 50 or less total sin, then we will earn heroes, which is the primary way that we unlock various technologies. So we can unlock new spells, for example, a variety of new punishment buildings for hell, a bunch of different infrastructure stuff, and things like that. So there's a big tech tree. In addition to actually unlocking buildings in and of themselves, we can also, for each one of these categories, we have all these various passive boosts. So I can always spend 5 heroes to give a increase to the amount of purge souls we earn when punishing souls. I think, I don't know, that might vary for some, but I think for this one, oh no, you can see there, plus 10%. I was gonna say, I've done this one before, and you gain 10% more of that. Our primary currency for building and buying stuff is purge dollars, and that is in fact our objective for this particular mandate, right? I have to earn 300,000 purge dollars in addition to these secondary objectives over here. Now, the way saints, and you get these helpful tooltips that come up, when resurrected, souls have a chance to turn into a saint if their sin-o-meter is low. There's pros and cons to that. Saints can't sin, which means we can't necessarily earn as much money from processing them, but we do have some goals with that. There is also this little meter. You can see for each one of these sins, if one of these sins reaches the 50 mark, then that person becomes a deviant in that sin, which has a variety of knock-on effects. They can't be treated in the omni-sin building, which we're going to look at in just a second. But also, if they max out, then they can come back as demons, which have... Everything in this game has interesting pros and cons. Like, the demon can wreak havoc on your overworld, but also if you defeat them, then you could recruit the demon as a special staff member with extra powers. Fantastic. Wait, hold on. Did I see? Oh my god, I can rename people. Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, let's ignore that for a moment. So let's get sort of some basic processing going on. So our people are going to come in here, and we are going to earn money by processing their sins. Let's get the most basic initial setup, and then we can talk about why that fails. So we can build some roads over here. So let's say I build a little bit of a road just for a bit, and we'll say, and then how are we going to process their first sin? Well, we have access to this Omni-Sin Doctor. So this punishes souls, removing a small amount of random sins and earning purgadollars. It cannot punish deviant souls. So it will remove a total of 28 sin sort of at random from across their board and give us a little bit of money. So let's say I were to just do this. So it'll cost me 1,000 purge dollars, and then we've got a road that leads there. And then this won't work until we've got a couple things. First of all, we are going to need an employee. An employee. There are actually 3 different categories of. Oh, here we go. Recruitment. There we go. Work imps, secretary imps, and sat imps for different types of buildings, and we don't have to worry about it because what we can do is from here, if we just click on the building and we click hire, it'll automatically pick the correct category. So we got sat imps over here. They've got some different wages because they've got some different traits. Paul Clown here, ooh, reduced break time, that's nice. Jerome, no wage increase this level, so we'd actually save money on his daily wages because he is a simpleton loser, but he would gain less experience. And then we got Martin Doom, which gives increased fear to treated souls. The fear meter on souls down here increases the speed at which they walk. So a fearful soul will move faster. That actually might be quite handy. Let's go ahead and get Martin Doom.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Charmed, I'm sure. And then we'll go and drop you off into this building. We got alert on the side because we are missing a road connection. You know what? I'm just going to turn off. I'm going to turn off the alerts here. By the way, filter system for all these alerts, brilliant. If any of them are annoying you and you don't want them, you can do that. I'm just going to toggle this off to turn off the alerts for a little bit because it's going to keep complaining about this disconnected road. You can see we've got a free refund. If you go and trash a building basically immediately, you will get a full refund, which is nice. Now, this structure won't be very efficient for a number of different reasons, but we're going to deal with that in a scooch. So, oops, I'm going to misclick and not place down the road correctly. So the soul road, we're going to go and drag this all the way to the exit. And again, this is not currently very efficient for a number of different reasons, but let's do that. So this is a perfectly valid initial hell loop. If I go and unpause, then what's going to happen? Our souls are going to move forward. And looks like Branhout over here is going to be first. She's going to do that, and the rest of the souls are going to wait outside. She's going to be instructed to go and sit in the chair. Let's go to the fast forward. And then while we're here, we're going to see these souls, these sins are going to go down a little bit. And you can see a few of them scattered around are going to go and pop out. And then eventually this person will be released. Now, this is the Omni-Sin Treater. It will just treat all sins sort of piecemeal. But as it said in the tooltip, it can't treat anyone who's reached a deviant level in there, which is very important. If their sin is below 50 when they are resurrected, we will gain a hero. So what we'd really like is for people to drop below that. And how do we do that? Well, first of all, if they come out here, they'll lose some. They'll probably be okay. But one of the problems is as they walk along the roads, they will, while they spend time in hell, they will get corrupted and will gain some random sins. So we might want to have another one of these things at the back. But it could be super inefficient. Like, what if we're treating someone who doesn't have a sin thing? Also, all these people out here are getting corrupted as they wait. I'm going to leave this initial setup for a second, but let's go to the end and try to think about how we actually want to treat these guys. Let's see if we can make something a little smarter. So near the end, because again, they might grab some sins as they go. I'm going to go and put down, actually I should have held shift here. Let's go and put down 3 of these buildings. And one thing that's nice, so if we were to build a road here, like this, and let's say we went and did this, and did this, and this, and this. What's going to happen is every time a soul reaches an intersection, they alternate between these 2 options, or here these 3, right? So if I were to route all the souls, let me do that. Let me go and bulldoze this road. Sorry, I want to be on the normal bulldoze. No, I don't want to be in road link cutter. Demolition tool, thank you. There you go. So let's say I do this. Now, all the souls are going to come through here. They're going to reach here. They're going to choose one of these 3 at random and then go into the Omni Doctor. And then what I can do is merge them on the other side. Let's say we do something kind of like that, and like that, and like that, and then have them leave. And that's good. So they're going to get treated right before they leave hell. So there we go. Our first person over here, Brunout, who's a little fearful. Walking near the lava over here makes them fearful, so they move faster. We can also put some fun statues down. So she's going to go. There we go. I think it's going to go left, middle, right, and then repeat, repeat, repeat. So we need an employee over here. I'm just going to grab someone, Jerome, get you in there, and then we'll process you. Oh, I didn't quite connect the road properly. My bad. There we go. Okay. So after you're done, you're going to go out. So again, our goal is to try to have them leave with a sin meter below 50 so we can grab some heroes. But what if someone reaches here and they have their sin below 50 already? Putting them through here, while it does earn some money from treating them, might not be all that useful. So let's go and put down a soul dispatcher in this area. And this is where we get into a little bit of logic. So I'm going to put this bad boy over here, and then I'm going to connect a new soul road and do this. And what I'm going to do, so this thing has A, B, and C different pathways, and we can set up some rules for these things. So, including the fallback, the default behavior. So let's say the default behavior is C. By default, go, leave hell, resurrect, that's fine. But let's create a rule for A here. We're going to create a rule, and we've got a variety of different things to do. We can do it by their sin value. This is their total sin meter. We can also choose a specific sin if we wanted. Let me pause before this person processes. So we can do that. I can switch it to above. I can choose different numbers by typing it in there. And we know we want our sins to leave hell, or souls to leave hell with less than 50 total sin. So actually, I could do this. If the total sin is above 50, then we can send them over here. That will do what I want. But what I can also do instead is the status, because we've got a variety of statuses we can filter for, including if they're deviant of a particular category. So in here, we're going to say, are they heroesable? And then we will say no. So If they are not heroesable, which will happen if their sin level is above 50, possibly some other things, but if they're not heroesable, and really in here, honestly, the best thing to do would probably be the meter. But let's put this filter here. So we'll do this. If they do that, go to A. And it will do the first rule first. You can reorder this. If you want to process the B ones first, you can reorganize it that way. But in this case, we'll say, okay, if they are not heroable, we will send them off to A. And then we don't have a rule for B or C. We've got the fallback, which is still going to go C over here. Great. So this person here is not heroesable because they're at 66 on the sin meter. So if I unpause, they will go here, they will process, there we go, and they will come over here for additional processing. Now, we know while they're waiting outside on these roads, they're constantly gaining more corruption, more sin, which could cause us some problems because maybe they'd cap out on one of these things and it might not be ideal. Maybe you want to generate more sin sometimes, but in this case, let's say we don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to put down a soul processing. We're going to put down a waiting booth because is there anything more evil truly than waiting? But we're going to go and put a waiting booth down here and we're going to put a queue. So now all of a sudden in the queue, they don't gain sin. And the other thing that's nice is they won't pile up outside of one of these buildings. They'll stay in this queue, and we're going to have a reception imp. Judy Snob, what are you? Bad loser. +5 added to highest sin when treating souls. The highest sin's pretty bad. You are quite a bit more expensive. All right, you know what? We'll just take the cheapest one. Throw you in there. Excellent. So now, and there's lots of dialogue, which I know I'm talking over. This game is hilarious. So there we go. She's in her booth. And she will go and process this person and send them to an appropriate building. Actually, I'm betting. Oh, there you go. You're going to go there because that's the only one available. So we're going to want to go and expand this once we get some more souls. Right now, I'm just paying a lot of upkeep that I don't need necessarily. You know what we could do to get some more souls? We could go and accelerate things. There's only 2 more souls waiting for something to happen. Oh, at nighttime, it's a little harder to find people. Oh, because they might be canoodling. But we've got some people out here. Let's go and use our zap ability. I've got it on slow motion right now. Very dramatic. There you go. That'll give us a few more souls to process down in hell. Perfect. So we'll wait for the next soul bus, but there you go. You're going to do this. So there you go. You're now fine. Now, what if someone had so much sin that one round of treatment over here didn't make them heroesable? Well, what we could do is then go to the soul dispatcher. I could put a new one over here like this. And again, I could say as a fallback, go to B. But we can create a new rule here. And again, I can say, if you're not heroesable, that's A. That's not the one I want. I want C. If you are not heroesable, there you go, then I want you to take another pass through here. Yeah, I can just do this. That's going to be fine. There you go. So this person won't trigger this because they are heroesable. So they'll do the fallback, which is B. So they're going to go straight through. Perfect. And they'll leave, and we're going to get ourselves a hero as soon as they get resurrected. There we go, 1 point. So now we have a little bit of loop that they're going to keep reinforcing over here, which is great. Now, what we need to do at some point is we do need to guard against deviants, which we're not going to have right away because right now no one's accumulated enough sin to reach that level. But again, these doctors won't do that. And you can see there's already a big problem over here because the structure I've built is silly. This is not a very useful composition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one, which you can do by holding, or I can just move it. Let me go and put you over here instead, and then connect you up to the road. Now, I actually still quite like the idea of doing an early soul processing because I don't want someone to arrive in hell nearly deviant. Well, I don't know. You get a lot more money treating the deviancy. So maybe we do want that. There we go. So they're going to all make their way. It's quite slow. Let's go and get... Oh, there we go. We can get some decorations. Let's get some fear decorations here. Oh, that's already pretty fearful, which is nice. But let's go and throw that one in. And then maybe over here. There we go. And then if we watch these guys, there you go. Their fear meter is dropping. But as they get close to lava, it goes up. And then here, it'll stay up again. And they'll go and push through and stay fearful, and there we go. So now they're going to get processed here. Then you get, oh, some of them. Oh, look at that. Some entered hell with so little sin that they're hearable immediately, which is great. And then the rest are going to get processed over here. Let's get some extra demons. We'll do that. We do refresher workers every day, so this one will stay empty for now, but that's going to be fine. Yeah, we get told a few more things. Sin is bad. Being a goodie is good. Yes. Yes, get punished, do that. Right now, our upkeep is above our cash, but I think we'll be okay, because we do get money processing these guys. But yeah, I didn't build this in a way that was economical to start off with, but there you go. You can see we're going to be okay. We spent aggressively up front to showcase some stuff, but the system is working out beautifully. Excellent. All right. So once we get to 5 souls, heroes, what we'll probably want to do is unlock some more specific sin processing. But we can also go and take another look at the world. Look at some people are building some houses. What's our ruler again? Right, the wealthy bourgeois. So I think he's going to focus pretty heavily on building more market buildings and things. And I suspect because people are going to spend a lot of time in the market, we're probably going to get a lot of people getting some greed. Merchants work here, calling other hummus to the market and blessing them with powerful alterations. So the alterations are these buffs. Look at that. You got tons of these buffs over here that are being stacked. Lovely. Excellent. Okay. Keep that game going on. And then it is a new day, so we've got some new employees. No wage, longer break time, faster work speed. You know what? I like that. Let's say practice self-bullying. Also, the messages on some of these are hilarious. The Omniscient Doctor. I see it's wrong. It's wrong because it's like against society. Alex Delmas, model citizen. That's a Clockwork Orange reference, which I did not expect to see when I started playing. Let's go and unlock something. So I wonder if we go up to the top and we can take a look at our sinometer. And we can get a feedback about what the highest various sin levels. So currently, it looks like greed has the highest total sin levels. Okay, so let's assume we're going to get some very greedy people down here, and let's set up a place to process those people. And I'll try to get them to do it fairly early on, let's say. So first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to unlock in the technologies, we're going to have to unlock the Greedologist. This building punishes souls, removing a great amount of greed and earning purge dollars. It can punish greed deviants and may break their deviancy, which is good because, again, the Omniscient Doctors can't punish deviants. So I guess we'll keep the game going so we actually make some money. The Greedologist over here, we can always move these later, so let's not worry too much about exactly how we do it. We're going to put this guy, say, there. And then, again, we're going to use a little bit of logic. We're going to use a soul dispatcher and do something like this. And if we look at this building, what it does is it removes 35 of the greed specifically. So, let's connect this up via road like that. And yeah, we'll just loop around and feed you back in over here. Good, fine. And then, oh yes, you'll need a sad imp. Sure, we'll stay cheap. Let's say we want to save a little bit of money right now. Oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to drop you off in here. Thank you. And then let's set a filter. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set a filter. So our fallback is going to be B. You can see the summary. We can interact with the rules over here or go here. We got lots of useful information. Let's create a rule that goes towards A, which is if something's highest sin is greed, then we'll route them over here. Now, probably what I actually want is a filter for either maybe just deviant specifically, or maybe I want a filter for people whose greed is 35 and above. And honestly, that might be the best thing to do here. But you know what? Actually, I am changing my mind. I'm going to create a rule, which is the sin value. If their greed is above, let's say it's above 25, just to try to get the next ones. And then should we go and boop a few more people? I'm a little bit worried about my upkeep, which is going to happen in the morning, and I may have overspent doing my little demonstration here. There you go. And there you go. Oh, there's whole other things. I think this person may have been one of our cultists. Yeah, we killed one of our cultists. So when you use spells around things and various other behaviors, they gain influence. If someone who sees you doing spells, the people around the spell gain influence. They become cultists. Cultists can do a variety of things. We can actually tell them what we'd like to do, what kind of activity. By default, they're cult advertising. They're going to try to recruit more people to the cult. Great stuff. Okay, I may have overspent. We might get a little bit of a strike, but you know, we'll deal with that when we get there. There you go. New hell buses here. Does anyone have enough greed? Oh, actually, someone, hang on. You over here, oh, that's 21 greed. Tell you what, let me set this filter to greater than 20. There we go. So one of these should get sent over. There it is, like that. Again, in practice, I probably don't want that. I probably want something like above 35 because that's how much we treat. Or maybe I'll say something like above 33, so we have a little bit of a buffer. And then we'll send them in there. Now, the nice thing about these specialists is that you earn a lot more money from these guys. You can see here, 875 purge bucks versus the Omnidoc, 280.
Nice. So many new hummus today. That means the hummus had a lot of fun last night. Good on them. But as much as it pains me, if you feel that we can't sustain such a huge daily growth, you might want to start taking actions at night to disrupt their fun.
Yeah, so
Push
at night,
around, for example.
yeah, at night, people they do their canoodling, and you can interrupt that if you want, because you've got, so one of our powers over here is this force push that we can use. So let's give an example of force push. You, boom, get flung. And you can knock the bells around on the buildings and things to wake up people so they don't do the kaboinking. But I don't know, more people, more better. There you go. And we've got our little processing loop over here. And yeah, the upkeep has gone up, but that's fine. We are going to be making more and more money. That should be okay. You may be wondering, okay, my powers, how do I use them? So there's faith coins over here. This is what I use to cast my spells. There's a couple of different ways. First of all, if you do have a big cult, what they can do is they can leave you little offerings behind the temple. There you go. There's some offerings right over there. So if I click on that, I got some more faith coins. Lovely. Another way to do it, though, is via the, I think it's called like the Hell Show, the Hell Puppet Show. Although, ooh, I don't think I've got it. Normally you start with it, but with my particular combination of, where is it? It's not on that one. Is it in the last category? Ah, the Hell Pet Show. There you go. With my particular starting situation, I didn't start with the Hell Pet Show, but this building generates souls, retreats souls, and generates a small amount of faith coins with each work cycle. So we can generate a steady supply of faith coins that we use to cast our spells via a Hell Pet Show. And so what we could do, sometimes what I've done on a couple of my test runs is added a couple in my little loop over here. They don't really treat sins the same way, but it means there's some percentage of my souls will go through that and get processed a few times. Or what I could do is I could have a little random like enforced loop where everyone goes through a Hell Pet Show to give me more spell points as we go through it. Now, let me turn the alerts back on because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of stuff. There's some starvation. Of 88 hummus wanting to eat today, 61 were left hungry. Ooh, and a fair amount of gluttony. So, if we don't have enough food. So what we might want to do, the Humanitarian Foundation and Hell can help hummus avoid food shortage. What we might want to do is we actually might want to trim down how many hummus get generated. A Pyro Shrine is ready. So there's a few Pyro Shrines around the world. I should give you a tour of the world here. The Pyro Shrines give me free uses of my spells without costing points, which is great. And then, yes, we got the coronation stuff, but the starvation. I think we might have to get ready for a bunch of gluttonous ones. But I'm also wondering if maybe we should go and kill off this ruler, because maybe they're not doing a very good job as a ruler. And we also might want to ring some bells here to stop any more people from showing up. So let's knock the ruler around. Whee! And then let's use our zaps. Here, let's cut down on the number of people. Fewer mouths to feed. All right, that's going to be a lot of extra souls. And then there we go. You can see the kaboinking happening. I don't know why. We've got little eggplants and peaches. I don't know what that means. No understanding of that whatsoever. Here, let's do a big win through there. Actually, I don't know if there's any bells I can spot immediately wake people up, but we did trim down these numbers substantially, which could lead to some rot, so there's a little bit of a problem. We do have a lot of souls. We'll tell you what, I've got some points. Let's go and increase the size of our hell bus. Spacious bus, like that. There you go. So now we're going to have room for 9 souls on the bus, and we can process these ones that somehow mysteriously died much, much quicker. So, by the way, we can increase our territory as well. We can spend money to go and expand hell. There's also a few different effects. I actually hadn't seen this one. Super Administrative Black Hole reduces the upkeep cost of buildings and employees within range. Oh, that's awesome. There's also this little, these various little like nasty territories. So here we've got a Purgatile field, souls walking on Purgatiles. Oh, earn money. What? And actually more per cycle. That's interesting. So souls, every time they reincarnate, they get their cycle count increases. So let's say we take a look at you. Yeah, this is your very first cycle over here. When a soul is resurrected, completes a cycle which increased by 1. Cycles determines the amount of purge dollars earned when a soul enters hell. Yeah, you get some money immediately just from the virtue of the fact that they enter hell. So we do want people to cycle a lot. There we go. We got lots of souls over here. No one in the Greedologist. And we are going to want like, we're probably gonna need multiple Greedologist and some sort of cycle system over here and maybe a waiting line as well. But for now, we're going to be okay. And you will see if someone's got a deviancy, it will be above their heads. The other thing that can happen is they can, if they resurrect, I think I mentioned it, if they resurrect with a low enough sin, then they will actually show up as saints, and saints can't earn sin. So you're going to need a few cycles over here. And I do think, like, this might be a good case. Well, no one's got a high enough number and everything. But my theory is, and what I've done on my bigger run, is I've had a dedicated specialty like first processing. For anyone who's got more than 35 in something, I send them through a loop that does the specialized sin processing buildings because it's more money and overall reduces more sin. Well, no, actually, well, 28. It does actually lower more sin overall, but a lot more money, and it tackles anyone who might have the deviancy because again, we can't go. Oh, you see, this one was almost deviant over here. This merchant in life makes perfect sense why they would have that extra greed. And then a little bit of a cleanup at the end to make sure I get the hero coins. And what would I want to do with these hero coins? Well, I might want to go and unlock more of these technologies so I can process more of the things. For example, if we think there might be a problem with gluttony coming up, I might want to go and set up a Glutologist. That's hard to say. And maybe I want to go and just set it up on the other side here. So again, you know, let's assume a fairly simple run right now. We need more sophistication and more logic as we go. You know what? Actually, I can move this to be directly aligned over here because we can use the same setup right here. I'm going to create a rule on C, which is sin value. If their sin value of gluttony is over, again, I'll do 33, so we have a little bit of a margin. Then we'll send them there. So again, it processes in order, but we actually don't need a rule for B because B is just the fallback. So first, if they have high greed, they'll go to the greed. If they have the high gluttony, then they'll go over here. And then let's build some roads. And then for this one, I'll just do the same thing where I kind of... You know what I want to do? Is I want to do... No, a second. Over here, I want to put another filter. So, if I go and put a soul dispatcher here, and I say something like, so, the fallback is going to be B, straight ahead. For C, I'm going to say, if your sin value for greed is still above 33, or your sin value for gluttony is over 33, then I want you to take another pass. Maybe you were extra sinful. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and pull that over here. And what we're going to do is reconnect you right there. Now, these crossroads, as we saw here, or these intersections, the souls will randomly, I think they use one then the other and they keep alternating. We don't want that in this case. What we want is a crossing so they will keep walking straight. And then it's going to be the same thing over here. Now, this is like way overcomplicated, but let's say I did this and then put in some other crossings here. So what's going to happen, right? We're going to process the gluttony. Oh, we do need a person here, so let's do that. We're going to process the gluttony, walk over here and hit here, and we're going to do a check again if they have gluttony or greed above 33, in which case we're going to send them back through here, and then it'll dispatch them the right way. Not very clean, but it'll do. And then I suppose if there's going to be so much walking here, what I probably want are a few more little fear-inspiring buildings, right? Just to keep the mobility nice and high like that. There you go. Okay, so now I'm going to deal with both those things. What kind of alerts we got? Oh, we got a copper chest awarded. Secondary objective ticked. Oh, did I? Oh, I got some saints, so I got a copper chest. Excellent. Let's go and blow that up. Copper chests can usually be just knocked over by one. Silver chests are tougher. And we're going to get a reward for that. There you go. I got 1,600 purge bucks. Nice. Ooh, I should use the garbage, or you can right-click to dismiss it. Same thing. You know what? Starvation is fine. We got our first promotion. Martin Doom promoted. So what we can do is we can add a new trait over here. We can always reroll if we don't like the traits that are presented. Or we can level up his existing trait as well. Now, these traits, we might choose to not do it because leveling him up does increase wages. This would give us faith coins when we go on break, increase the chance of a soft failure, which I think prevents any treatment from happening over here. I think hard failures like actually increase sin or maybe give a negative trait. So we could do this to passively gain some faith points. Sure, let's do that. But yeah, you can see he got more expensive. Which fair? Okay, some of these guys, our waiting line is getting kind of long here. And first of all, again, it is bad to have them wait outside. First of all, it can jam up our flow, and they gain some extra sins as they do that. Let's go. I think what I'm going to do... Can I fit more roads over here? Do we have room? Yes. I'm going to add a few more of these treatment centers. So a few more of the Omni Doctors. And what I'll do is I'll set them up on the other side. Let's do 2 more of those. Like that. And then, oh yeah, higher. You and you over here. There we are. So that should help do that. But the other thing I can do is I can make this waiting queue a little bit longer. And that might also be a good idea. But, I mean, ultimately, that just gives us a bigger buffer, which can be important to people who go on break. And speaking of breaks, our own people will want to do something. Oh, yes, the impish resources. Oh, yeah, I started with this. Reduces the total upkeep due at dawn for each work cycle. That is kind of nice. Let's put, this is just a random work building for my workers. So I'll put it down. You know what? Hold on. What I actually want to do is I want to showcase the restroom. So this is going to help our employees deal with some of their needs. You can see a bit of a radius here. You know what? I will put it right here, covering these buildings. So that way, some of my workers will go to the restroom when they need a break as well. So it reduces the break time modifier. Now, the other thing is any of these guys are on break. So he's on a coffee break over here. Let's just stab him a little bit. We fork him, is what they say, because we're using our pitchfork to go and do that. And we can use that to these guys over here. No pooping on company time. There you go. Nope, you either. Smack. There you go. Get back to work. We've got a lot of souls to process. What are you doing? I mean, it wouldn't be a hell management game without some evil bossness. I like how there's like neon signage for the bathroom break, though, for the restroom. Pretty entertaining to me. Hopefully this will catch up some of the things. And again, we've got some of our processing here. And in fact, we probably want more of these because there's a good chance that more and more of these souls are ending up with a high value somewhere. It looks like envy might be one of the things. I wonder if we got a lot of high envy peeps. So that might be another one. And I might want to change my my target. Again, this whole setup, obviously, very silly, right? Very silly. But I can go and you can start easy, right? You can start with a basic setup. Oh, I need one more hero. You can start with a basic setup, and then you can move everything afterwards, especially as you get more space. And then there's building upgrades as well. So for example, my little waiting booth that we've got, it would be easier if I click here. If I click here, you can see there's an upgrade button on the waiting booth. It'll bring me to the right page. Oh, there you go. The waiting booth 3000. So I do have to unlock the accreditation office, and then I can get the waiting booth 3000, which doesn't need an employee, which is great because I don't have to pay them, but they also don't go on break. There's also an upgrade for the Omni-Sin Doctor itself, which is just going to be more effective, but that is quite far down because for that one, we have to unlock all the specific Sin buildings, and then we can get the 70 Omni-Sin Doctor. That is just way more effective. Oh, hold on. See, this is a good example. This person here is a deviant with greed. They are going to go and take up one of these buildings, and we can't actually treat them. So what we should maybe do is check this rule system over here. And I'm going to go for the C rule. First of all, I'm going to put it at the top. C is still the fallback. But I'm going to say, if they are a deviant of any kind, since we know we're not going to be able to treat them, get out. We failed to treat your deviancy. We're going to send you back to the real world with the deviant trait, because yeah, you can see this building over here. We can't tend to this person. We are failing to tend them because they are a deviant, and so they're just so we got another one over there. Just terrible. Are we not actually properly treating? No, they must be sneaking through, like, or gaining too much as they wait, which is entirely possible. But I mean, obviously, this whole thing was just to show up sort of a demo, and it clearly didn't do a very good job, unfortunately. I don't think I can manually pluck these guys out and change their orders, so yeah. Oh! You're stuck in a loop. Hold on. You are stuck in a loop, because you can only exit right now. You're gonna do. Let's make sure to create a rule B here. Status, if you are a deviant, you have to exit this loop. That's actually probably the cause. You probably gained it while sitting around here. So you have to exit this loop if you're a deviant. So this person here will not loop around because they're not heroable. But they've got a deviancy, so we're just going to throw them out. Which has all sorts of issues in the upper world. There's a fun thing that can happen if your ruler becomes a deviant. Ooh, my ruler's a cultist this time around. If your ruler is a deviant, then it leads to all sorts of bizarre, crazy stuff. Here, let's go and shock some of these guys. Trim some of these. Let's get a new ruler as well. Keep the souls flowing, baby. Anyway, I think you've got a bit of a demo of the gameplay here. I find this really compelling. You can wishlist Sintopia now, and again, up until February the 16th, you can play the free preview right now on Steam. So there'll be links down below. Thank you again for Team 17 for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it, and bringing Sintopia. Yes, I know, Lily. We're in a high fertility place, so we're gonna have lots of people on top, and we may have some more starvation issues as well. But that's the reality of things. There's still this person here, but it might just be a little delayed. They might just be late in the queue.
You might want to start taking actions at night to disrupt their fun. Push bells around, for example.
Yeah, deviant any. Go out, see. Yeah, you just must have leaked through, and that's fine. All right, we'll get you on the next cycle. Anyway, quick, dirty, but hopefully gets the point across. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.